Welcome back to the Unsheltered channel. My name is Rogan and you are watching another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Bible. I do apologize for... Well, it seems... Fuck that. I'm always apologizing. You know what? I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I've been lazy. I've been fucking lazy. And I'm learning to come to terms with that. But I am also going through a lot of changes. This is not an excuse. I'm just saying I'm going through a lot of changes. Learning lots of new things. Been trying to really push myself in new ways. Been getting rid of things and preparing myself to actually live on the road. I mentioned that a ways back, I believe. But I'm actually going to be doing that. And I've been very blessed to find someone perfect for me to do that with. As a partner. As a twin flame. So, and you just might get to meet her. But for now, I am trying to get my focuses back together. I'm probably gonna be hitting the road sometime next year. And so in the meantime, I've actually have a time that I'm aiming towards being ready by. And because of that, I am needing to pick up the pace with this shit. This shit right here. And so I'm going to be trying to get back into doing more of these videos. I actually had to replace my phone recently because I guess the universe got tired of me having my old one. So my new one is waterproof, so that will not be an issue again. It's what practically killed the other one, put it in a coma for a while. But I didn't have time for that shit. I had to get a new one, and it was the best deal in the store, and the very last one. And it was playing, and they were playing a song that I hadn't heard in ages. So it was like the universe just saying, "It was like, yeah, time to get a new fucking phone." So it's nice. Nice little upgrade. And it should be easier for me to make videos now too, so they're not going to be quite as much of a bore. I actually have a stylus on this thing, so I can draw shit instead of using my fingers. So, let's get to today's story. I have been trying to get to these stories, actually, for quite a while, and this is now like my third or fourth attempt. I've kind of lost count because shit keeps happening. But we are back, and I keep looking at the wrong side of this camera because you don't give a shit about why. Let's get on with the fucking stories. The Good, the Bad, and the Bible. What will we see today? Will we see something good or bad? What do you think? Well, if you've been following along, you probably know exactly what's coming. But, of course, who has time to keep up with these old-ass books? Even most Christians don't have time to read the Bible. So that's why I'm here, to show you all the fun shit that Christians and, the Jews and all the people who celebrate this book, nothing against the Jews, just the religion, the people who celebrate this book and all things related to it. Bless them all, but damn, they got some issues with this thing. We got some real moral issues. So let's dive into today's two little stories. Without any further ado, we are in Numbers 25 today, and I will summarize what is going on here. This little story only lasts for 5 verses. That's why we're doing 2. It's an overall short chapter. It's got 2 different stories. So Israel, you remember the last story with Balaam and the talking donkey and all that? Well, that particular kingdom the kingdom of Moab is where the Israelites are nearby right now. And this, you think about the last story. Remember, the king of Moab called Baal over sorry, not Baal. What's his name? Balaam. He called Balaam over to curse the Israelites, and it refused to work out for some odd reason. No idea why the Israelites had that story. But here is here's a little bit more realistic sounding story about what have actually happened. So Israel's hanging out near Moab, and it says Israel abode in Shittim. That's literally the name of it, Shittim. And the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. They started intermingling with each other, like there's a problem with that, but who's making it a problem? The children of Israel, because the children of Israel, they're actually just being social. What is actually going on here? Second verse, they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. They literally just invited the Israelites over to hang out. It's like, hey, what's up? Why we got to fight? Come on over. Let's, we invite you to hang out and celebrate our religious holidays with us. And, what do you do when you go into a stranger's house? Depending on what culture you're in, a lot of times you take off your hat, most of the time you take off your shoes, leave them at the front door, you pay respect. You pay respect in different ways to the strangers that you are around. And, some people are a little bit more friendly in paying respects than will go as far as to respecting other people's religions. But heaven forbid, and God, of course, do you think God is cool with this? Do you think God, the God of the Bible, is cool with respecting other people's religions? Verse, they kind of go really far with what they talk about, what the people do. It says, they bow down to their gods. Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and it's not saying everyone did. It's just saying, but it acts like it. It acts like the entire nation did it. It never is. It's never the entire nation, funny enough. But of course, is God like, oh well, dang, I guess they'll burn in hell forever later on. Enjoy the rest of your sinful life. No, he doesn't say that. What does he say? Take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. So I feel like he's kind of admitting that not everyone's doing this. But he's so angry he wants to take out, or he's angry at the entire nation for a few doing it. That's very manipulative and power hungry and kind of psychologically fucked up, if you ask me. Why would anyone want to put up with that? And these other people over here, being like, hey, our gods are not as harsh. Our gods, let you have a little more free will. We actually promote free thinking and believing in yourself. And, yeah, we're chill. Have a joint. Just hang out. There's no real, make love, not war, literally. And this God, the God of the Israelites here is like, no, make love, make war. Nah. Kill people. Fuck, so that I don't kill everyone else. Kill these hippies so that I don't destroy the rest of my nation. Even though it's only a small chunk that's becoming hippies, it seems. Seriously, what the fuck? and we have no idea how many people died. It's just like, yeah, no, it's. And then right afterwards, I don't know if they went anywhere or if they're in the exact same spot, but this is interesting. Listen to the narrative of this next story right here. Verse 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel. Hold on a second. I love how it just constantly refers to these people as children. I mean, why children? Why you always got to call them children? They're always acting like they're from. It's like that is the perspective that we're wanting us to look at these people, constantly calling them children, children. They don't know shit, and and that is the way they're constantly being treated by God, like someone who's like, not in a positive way. They're like, oh, it's my child, I love you, I take care of you. This is not how you do that, you silly boy. This is how you do it. Oh no, you don't, it's like there's multiple ways to raise a child, and God's always like killing them, drowning them, doing all kinds of fucked up shit to the people he created, and then he keeps referring to them as children, 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 acting like they never grow up, treating them like they're not allowed to have their own opinions and shit. Like, what if our political leaders always called us children? Like, how would you like that? Would you like it? You're grown ass. I'm assuming most of you viewers are adults. Would you like being called children all the time? Go, my children, listen to me. Fuck that shit. We can think for ourselves. It just seems very like, I know a lot of people think that it's an endearing term that's being used here in the Bible, but if you look at how God actually treats the children of Israel, it's kind of very opposite. Like, more like, your children, you don't know shit. I need to keep beating you and making you sick and giving you plagues and, letting other people destroy you for not listening to me and doing what I tell you, instead of just being a little bit more direct with my abilities and shit. It just doesn't add up. Makes it sound way more like in my opinion, a kind of a manipulative cult being run by someone that just doesn't want to share power, that doesn't want peace because war is more profitable, maybe. All right, enough of that rabbit hole. The children, one of the children, we're going to find out exactly how much of a child this person was. Okay? We're going to find out exactly how much of a child this person was, and why I'm pretty sure they would feel insulted if they were being called a child right now. Especially considering what they're capable of. So this child of Israel brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Okay, so we're not really told why these people are crying, but apparently there's some people crying in a very important public place. And someone, we're not told if he does it in like a fanfare, like show off type of deal, like over the top. We really don't know exactly. It's just like, for all we know, it could have been the most direct path to where he was going with this lady of his. Then they, the writers of this could have been saying, they could be just making a big deal out of nothing here by saying this person brought a Midianitish woman in front of everyone that was crying over this really solemn moment. Maybe he was just trying to take a shortcut, We don't know. We don't ever get to hear his side of the story. Why? Well, because, well, guess what happens next? He brings this woman through the sight of everyone. Oh my, shocker. And then Phineas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it. He rose up from among the people, took a javelin, which, if you don't know, is a short spear, took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the man. Oh, he's not a child anymore. Now he's a man. Went after the man of Israel into the tent, and the woman, and thrust both of them through. The man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. Now, if you're wondering what the fuck just happened, yeah, I didn't skip anything there. I read 3 verses to you. I did not skip anything. All of a sudden, there was a plague. Yeah. Apparently, there was a plague. Who knew? Did it have anything to do with the Moabites? We don't know, because this is a Midianite woman. Midianite, different country, different name, different place. But apparently there was a plague, and murdering these 2 hippies stopped it. Apparently. And those that died in the plague, by the way, were 24,000. Like, what? 24,000 people just fucking died from a disease. What the fuck? There is some serious amount of detail that is missing here. Like, how the fuck do we know that had anything to do with God? How do we even know that was a plague? What the fuck? What the fuck? They want to blame it on the Moabites? Or who are they blaming it on even? Because this is a Midianite. This is totally different. Well, but of course, the whole point is, don't intermingle with not with non-Israelites, with people who are not part of our religion. That's really what it is. Because there are rules in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that talk about how someone can marry a Gentile, a non-Hebrew, a non-Jew. I'm not really sure. I guess would Jewish be the religious term and Hebrew be the DNA term, maybe? I'm not 100% sure about that. But the point being, it's kind of the religion that's the issue here. Nothing against the people themselves. Religion is kind of like this is really screwed up. And I know there's things that we lose in translation and everything, but there's some other shit we're not lost to here. Because, well, let's just continue on with what we have left of the details that the Bible so wonderfully provides for us. Because this man wasn't just anyone. But we'll get to that in a second. Because, we gotta reward the murderer, of course. God has to make a point to say, wherefore, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. Oh my gosh. I skipped a verse. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 10, Phineas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, hath turned away my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. I love how he admits that he has a problem with jealousy, but his religious followers cannot, and they still worship him. This goes for both you Christians and you Jews. You worshippers of the Abrahamic faith. Even Yahweh can admit that he is jealous, that he has a problem with jealousy. But you still worship him. Why? It's an abusive relationship, you know. It just doesn't add up. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's fucked up. And in reward for murder of these two people just wanting to get it on in the privacy of their tent, they weren't doing it in front of you guys. They just walked by together. For all we know, that is all they did. They walked by holding hands, and everyone was like, "That's not one of our worshippers. We can tell by the skin color for one thing, and she has not had her head shaved." That was one of the rules, from what I remember. I haven't read that passage in a while, but yeah. They could tell, and they were not happy about it. And so the son of the priest goes and murders the two, and then God's like, "Woo! You saved me from murdering all these Israelites because you took it on yourself to murder these two hippies. Good for you, man." He says, "Behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace," verse 12. And then 13, "And he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and made an atonement for the children of Israel." Oh, yes. Oh, yes. God just slurps his genitalia, practically. For murder. That's like the most mob boss shit I have ever heard of. Dang. Verse 14. Now, the name of the Israelite that was killed with the Midianitish woman, that guy? Who was that guy? Who was that child of Israel that then became a man, that then became murdered? Well, that child of Israel, that was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. The Simeonites were one of the 12 tribes of Israel. This dude was a prince of Israel. And who was he sleeping with? Oh, was it a captured slave? Was it, who was it? Who was this Midianite woman that he brought in? They were making it all about just Israelites sleeping with a Midianite. Ooh! But no, it was a prince. Oh, prince, bad example. Boo, bad on you. Shame on you for sleeping with a Midianite. Was that what it is? We find out who this Midianite was. She wasn't some slave. She wasn't some nobody. 15. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosby. No, not as in Bill Cosby. Different Cosby. Spelled Cozbi, actually. Kind of cool. But her name was Cosby, the daughter of Zur. He was head over a people and of a chief house in Midian. This Midianite woman was a princess. This was a political alliance of some kind. I mean, maybe. I don't know if it was a consensual thing between the two of them, but clearly it was not a consensual thing between this prince of the Simeonites and the other leaders of Israel. I don't know where he thought he could get away with this shit. He guess he just didn't realize how racist or how going outside of the bounds this shit was. I don't know. Because it makes it all about bringing in that Midianitish woman and stopping the plague, and they say nothing about what the connection was between this prince of the Simeonites, of the Israelite Simeonites, and how this union came about with him and this princess of Midianites, the daughter of a chief. No, sorry, daughter of a prince of Midian. Of a chief house. So very big. Very big. Oh yeah, and then what does God say? The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, vex the Midianites. Go fuck them up. Go destroy them. For they vex you with their wiles. They tempt you. Wherefore, they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor. And that's in reference to... That's somehow like the half name of Baal Peor from the Moabites. So I don't know what how the fuck they're connected. Maybe they just happen to worship the same deity. I don't know. But in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. For Peor's sake? What the... For Peor's sake? What? Whoa, I never noticed that before. This is literally... Wow. So this took me 3 attempts to make this video just to notice this part at the very end of the chapter, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. Peor is the name of that deity, Baal Peor. It's like they're not. Maybe there's something here a little bit missing, but I'm pretty sure they're referring to the exact same deity of Baal Peor, and they're just leaving off the Baal part. But they're like making it. It's like they're constantly drawing it back, but they're not. They're not saying how the Midianites and the Moabites are connected, but it's like they're forcing them to be allowed together. It's like we are forced to assume, because we only have the survivor's perspective, this survivor who has a thing for murder, who's like, oh, thank you for murdering them so I didn't go off the rails and murder all the rest of the Israelites. What the fuck? And slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. Why? Here's a big question for you. Why are they killed? Why are they murdered for the sake of this false god, when technically they should be slain or murdered for the sake of Yahweh? Yahweh is the one that commanded them to be murdered in the first place. Yahweh is the one who blatantly admits he's got a jealousy problem. Oh, he may not call it a problem, but we as humans know that jealousy is a big fucking problem because it fucks with our lives every fucking day. Jealousy is stupid. Jealousy is petty. But people want to put up with it from this God that straight up admits that he is jealous. And he requires murder so that he won't murder more people. But but somehow that transitions to, somehow transforms into a deity who is like, no, you shouldn't. I can demand murder from people one more time through Jesus, because that somehow makes sense. But you guys, you humans, you actually have to be one step better than God, because you are not allowed to demand murder. You are like, if you are a true son of God, You will never, ever require murder. You will never require blood to forgive someone else, to let go of the wrong that has been done against you. True forgiveness comes without shedding of blood. That is what is backwards about this whole thing in the Bible. God straight up says he is jealous. Jealousy demands blood. When you get jealous enough, you are consumed enough to the point where you will steal, you will kill, you will destroy to have what someone else has the complete right to not give you. You're jealous. You are consumed with jealousy. And Yahweh, this God, straight up admits that he's jealous. He's a jealous moron. He's willing to destroy the very people he needs to worship him if they don't murder each other for leaving the cult. Murdered in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. Bullshit. They were not murdered for the sake of Peor. They were murdered for the sake of Yahweh and his jealous ass. It's all right there. He says, seriously, verse 11. Verse 11, it doesn't get any clearer than that. He was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. This God is... He would have destroyed all of it. According to this, if Phineas hadn't murdered these two hippie lovers, who are actually a prince and princess... So we're not going to talk about the politics. We'll just shove their names right in the very end and hope no one notices. And we're just going to make it about Baal, Peor, and the plague, not the politics, and people having free will, getting to do what the fuck they want. Did this plague even fucking happen? Did it even happen? Did it even happen? I mean, honestly, 24,000... What? How do we know? How do we fucking know? Those bones are disintegrated and long gone by now. There's no way to prove either way. Well, you know what we have? We have this God straight up admitting that he will murder an entire nation of innocent people for the sake of just 24,000 who fucked up. That's not justice. That's not fairness. That's not love. That's not compassion. How can you call that justice? How can you call that being fair? How can you punish an entire house for one fuck up? It's one thing when nature does it. This is not nature. This is blatantly people murdering people because some people wanted to go make some friends. Some people wanted to form their own alliances. Some people wanted to use their own free will. Oh, hell to the fuck no. Hang their heads up before the sun. That's what God thinks of people celebrating other people's holidays. Hang their heads up before the sun. And this has been another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Bible. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will continue this. I'm working to be more disciplined with getting back to this shit. I'm having to make myself learn stuff. Fortunately, my twin flame is very familiar with self-preservation on living out of a vehicle and everything. But I still have my shit to learn. I have lots to learn about that, because the learning never stops. And let's see, what time is it? Well, you know what? No, I will share that with you. I will share that with you another time. This video has been long enough, and so I will let you get back to about your day. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you have found it most enlightening. I hope I haven't crushed anyone's toes too much. I do care. This is why I share and say these things, because we need to look at things at face value as they are. As complex as life is, it's also a lot simpler than we make it out to be. Believe it or not, love is a lot stronger than hatred. It may take a little more work to exercise. Hate might be a little bit easier to dip into, but jealousy is definitely a lot more easier to dip into. Thank you, Yahweh, for showing us a prime example of that in your Holy Bible. Hatred only causes more hatred and pain and suffering and death. Love and learning, that promotes life. So continue to learn to love, because it is an art. It does take effort to learn, but it is worth it. And it's, you learn to love yourself properly, that will help you learn to love the rest of the world properly. But never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop loving. Until next time, my friends, stay safe. Farewell.